What's up, guys? Welcome back to Veteran Aquatics. My name is Dylan, and today we're going to talk about how to save money on aquarium heaters. But before we go ahead and get started, make sure to obliterate that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up button for more content in the future. And as always, we'll be back in just a minute. Alright guys, welcome back. So today we're going to talk about aquarium heaters, right? It's one of the more expensive things in the hobby. It's something that, if left unchecked, or if you get a bad one, it can completely devastate your fish tank, either by failing or overheating and essentially boiling your fish. I've had tanks get upwards of 100 degrees, right? I was lucky I didn't have fish in the aquarium when it happened, but had I had fish in there, they would have all died. There's almost no tropical fish that can withstand a 100 degree Fahrenheit temperature in a tank for more than a couple of seconds. So we're going to talk about aquarium heaters, what your best options are, price-wise, which ones I use and why, and how I go about spending about $7 per heater. So there's a lot of brands of heater out there, right? You have Fluval, you have Aquarium, you have Hyphen, there's a bunch of them, and they all vary slightly on price. So the Fluval and the Aquarium heaters run about $25.87 on Amazon. Some cheaper ones like the Top Fin are $17 or something like that for a 100-watt heater. The 100-watt heaters I use, $6.89. Alright, they work well. I've been using them for a while. I have yet to have one fail on me. It's been a couple of months, and they're adjustable. I don't like the fixed temperature heaters. I've had very bad experiences with them. I've had a couple of them fail, not in overheating a tank, but they have failed in that they just stop working. It's either that or they run too cool and the tank will never really get above 75. Most of my tanks I run at about 79, so if I can't bring the temperature up, lower temperatures increase likelihood of disease, fungus, ick, stuff like that. So the warmer the temperature, the better. And for things like angelfish and discus, you really need the temperature like 82 degrees, maybe even a little bit warmer for discus, right? So the ones I use, I buy off eBay. Most of you probably buy most of your stuff off Amazon. If you don't know, you can actually buy live fish off of eBay as well. That's where I got the red dragons and the black Moscow guppies that I have. They were imported from Thailand, and I bought them off eBay. They're a little expensive, especially the shipping fee. Shipping from Thailand is not cheap. And on top of that, live fish, as a general rule, aren't exactly cheap. So back to the heaters, right? The ones that I use, they're Odessa brand, or no, I lied, they're Odyssey brand. Alright, here's what one looks like in the box. This is just a 100-watt heater, like I said. $6 and some change. So let's go ahead, we'll open this one up. Alright, so they come packaged with styrofoam to make sure they don't move around, make sure they don't break while they're in transit. You get 2 suction cups. And these are pretty sturdy feeling heaters, they're not small, like I said, they are adjustable. Alright. Odyssey. And I've got 500 watt ones, I've got 300, 200, 100 watt ones. The 100 watts for the 10 and 20s, the 200 watts for the 30s. 300 watts going to 55s, and ideally you'll have 2 300 watt heaters and something like the 125s behind me. Right now, though, just for practicality purposes, I'm running single 500 watt heaters. So these things, like I said, they're pretty sturdy. They're very heavy, they're hefty feeling, they're a little bit bigger, just for a 100 watt heater, they're not small. But you can see the heating element in there, right? It's pretty sizable, which is nice, right? Because people like smaller heaters. The problem with smaller heaters is it decreases the heat distribution of the heater. The smaller the heater, the less heat distribution it has, which is why it's better to have more than one heater. In the event one fails, you have a backup, the tank won't freeze. You can put them, center, either side. That way the heat gets evenly distributed across the tank. You don't have cold spots, that sort of thing. The other good thing about having multiple heaters is it makes the other heater not have to work so hard. So the reason heaters fail is they generally have an amount of times that they'll turn on, right? So say that is 1,000 on-off cycles. So after 1,000 on-off cycles, the heater's over with, it's fried, it failed. If you have two heaters, right, it's going to slow down how often that heater has to turn on and off because it's going to be divided by 2. So that's going to essentially double the length of time that heater is going to work for you. So if you have the ability, so it should be about 5 watts per gallon, okay? So 500 watts, good for 500 gallons. My fish room is heated, so it stays at about 78, 79 degrees in here. The heaters don't turn on too much because of that, but sometimes, at night and stuff like that, when we turn the heat down, it gets a little bit cooler in here, so that's what we have the heaters for. So if you can divide that by 2, so for the 125s, I would put 2 300 watt heaters in there. And that would work great. It would slow down the amount of times that it's turning the heater on. It would, like I said, divide the on-off cycle by 2, extending the life of the heater, decreasing how often you have to buy a new heater, therefore saving you money on buying the heaters. Now, if you're only paying $7 to $12, because I think that's how much the 500 watt heater was, about $12, versus $25 to $35, $40, right? You're saving that much more. So I'm able to turn around and buy, 10 heaters, and it costs me $70, $80, which, if you're buying something like a Fluval or an Aquarium, you get 2, maybe 3 heaters for that price, right? And they're really well known in the business. They're known to be good quality heaters. Nobody knows about Odyssey. They're not a big name company, but they do put out quality products. And for the price, in my opinion, they can't be beat. I'm using them in all of my tanks, barring the ones that I already had heaters for, but any tanks that I've set up since I've gotten here, right, which would be everything except for 155, 120 gallon, and 110 gallon, they all have Odyssey heaters in them. And I have not had a single problem the entire time I've had them. Alright, so that's it for the heaters, guys. If this helped you, saved you some money, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions about this, let me know. I'll include screenshots as well. This is the Aquarium. This is the Fluval. That's it for today, guys. Appreciate you watching. As always, have a great day.